Attention fragmentation is the worst it's ever been. We're distracted, pulled in 1,000 directions, and if we don't fix this, we're toast. As workers, entrepreneurs, and humans. My name is Roman Alex and I sold millions in B2B deals. I was successful on paper but really struggled with how much time I spent on my phone. So I read dozens of research papers on attention focus. By the end of this video you will know the shocking amount of money and time this is actually costing you. The 2 psychological principles that make the phone so addictive and the 2E strategy that you can implement today to save this once and for all. 581 hours. This is how much social media and the phone is costing you every single year. That's about 28%. And when we average this out, it's about 34,000 per year that you are wasting right now. High achievers, high-level entrepreneurs, imagine what you could do with an additional 600 hours every single year. Imagine what you could achieve with that time. And the 34K is just based on the average salary. For example, if your business is making 2 million per year and you wouldn't lose out on that 28%, you would actually make 2.7 million. So it's 700,000 more without changing anything else. This is what we're actually solving for. Aside obviously from all the other negative effects on happiness, life satisfaction, etc., they come all on top. But just in terms of productivity and money making, you have to fix this. Now that you understand what impact this has on your life, let's now understand how your brain is exactly being hijacked. Which brings us to principle number 1, the psychology of focus and productivity. The reason you keep coming back to it is because it's hyper-engineered to exploit human nature. And it's not just social media we're talking about. Even though they are the best at exploiting us, it's also all the other productivity apps. So Gmail, Slack, etc. They are playing the same game. They exploit us by first using the slot machine effect. This is basically that you get variable rewards. So when you open social media, you don't know what you're going to get. Are you going to get a negative stimulus, a positive stimulus? When there's a notification, it is varied rewards. Why is this so strong? From an evolutionary biology standpoint, having something new, gathering new information is extremely important for survival. Because you would want to know if there is a tiger behind the bushes because you just see some leaves moving, or if this new fruit that you discovered is actually edible or poisonous. So new information, especially when they are not predictable, is extremely addictive. The second one is dopamine feedback loops. And the critical component why social media and new technology is so addictive is that the shorter the feedback loop, the more addictive this is. To give you an example, why is cocaine so addictive? The reason for that is because when you take cocaine, it almost instantly brings an effect. So the shorter the span between doing something and getting the effect, the more addictive this is. And social media is so narrowed down and works so quickly that you get the dopamine so quickly that it is extremely addictive. That's the reason why long-term thinking, and when it comes to your business, you're doing the work right now that pays off in 1 week, 6 months, or 2 years. Obviously, dopamine doesn't work that long and social media abuses that to the maximum. The last thing that they abuse is fear of missing out. Fear of missing out is one of the strongest indicators from an evolutionary standpoint, because social exclusion back in the day 20,000 years ago meant you're probably going to die. If you're excluded from the group, you're probably not going to get enough food, you're definitely not going to reproduce, so we want to avoid that at all costs. So, and if you miss out on something that the group knows about or is part of, that triggers directly the fear of being socially excluded. And social media as well as Slack, anytime a notification pops out, it's basically fear of missing out in your brain directly. Now that you understand the principles, why the phone, social media and all the applications are so addictive, but if you really want to fix your attention span, you gotta understand why willpower is not enough. Which brings us to principle number 2, the psychology of the welcome distraction. If you watch this, you probably have really high willpower, you have discipline and you can push through things. So why do we still fall for this? 1, because it's so excellently designed as just described. But the second aspect is, when do we actually fall for this? Usually when you look at your day, you have customer meetings, you have team meetings, calls, organizing, emails, like you have so many things and so many things on your plate. And at some point you just get exhausted, and usually then is when it's most easy to slip into doom scrolling social media, getting distracted. So what happens if you're in that situation? Just remove social media and don't replace it with anything else. All the thoughts just come up all at once. All the doubts, all the things that come up positive as well negative, just unleash on you because you've been in so much focus and so much external focus that when there's a moment of quiet, everything comes at you at once. So when you remove social media, you're not just removing that positive stimulus of fear of missing out and slot machine and all that, you're also having all these things, all these thoughts, feelings just bubbling up all at once and bringing more exhaustion. So you not just remove a positive thing, you also add something that is slightly negative or overwhelming. It doesn't have to be negative, but it's just another component where social media can just merge that out by going straight for easy entertainment. Aside from all the focus and attention that you lose and the time that you could actually use productively, you kill creativity and independent thinking. Your biggest asset as an entrepreneur and as a human in general is your mind. So why does everybody nowadays sound and talk the same? You can't really differentiate yourself if you don't let yourself actually think through things with a bit of distance from your day-to-day work. Because average thinking leads to average results. So social media also kills your creativity and independent thinking. Now that you understand the principles why the phone and social media is so addictive, now let's go and fix it. We solved this with the 2E method: emotions and environment. Consciously, you probably know social media is not that good, the phone is not that good, but when you actually try to get rid of it, you keep coming back, you keep falling back, because your subconscious still associates a lot of positive emotions with it. Every time you open up, there's a dopamine spike, you distract yourself from unwanted feelings. So it is so much conditioning that has positive reward associated to it, which your subconscious is working on. First, actually clearly defining why this is so crucial. Not, oh, I should change or I shouldn't be this much on a phone. Like, why is this a must? Why do you need to change this right now? I gave you some reasons in this video and take some inspiration from that. Be extremely clear on what that actually means. What goals will you not pursue? What type of enjoyment will you not feel? What type of fulfillment will you miss out on? What will you not achieve? What will you not go for if you don't overcome this? And really make this not just in your head and think, oh, I'll miss out on some great relationships, or I'm not as engaged, and the business will not be as successful. You have to actually feel the pain of like, what will you actually miss out on if you don't change this? The more painful you can make this, the more willing your brain is to change. Because when your brain associates so much pain with social media and extensive phone usage, your brain will just stop wanting to use it so much. Because when you pull it up right now, it's all dopamine. It's things, I'm pulling up my phone, dopamine, dopamine, dopamine. But if you then associate so much pain with it as well, you want to put it back in your pocket as soon as possible. The second step now is that we have to clearly associate both of those pictures of getting our phone and the negative consequences. They're so linked together that every time you think about taking your phone, you also fire the same negative consequence pattern. What you're going to do is close your eyes, and on one side you will visualize the phone, picking up the phone, holding the phone in your hand, whatever image is, let's say, the most prominent for you. And then on the other side, you'll visualize the negative consequences, all the pain that you've visualized previously. And then you're going to close your eyes and literally switch between them, and you increase frequency. In the beginning, slowly you visualize one thing, then the negative consequences, then the smartphone, negative consequences, and you're going to get quicker and quicker. So your brain basically overlaps these two memories, so they basically extremely linked together that every time you then take out your phone, it also fires the negative consequences. The third step is optional. If at some point over the next couple of weeks, when you pick up your phone, you still have a very positive association to it, just redo that exercise, because you give that initial stimulus, which can get you so far, but like going to the gym, you have to repeat some exercises sometimes to really get it into your bones and into your subconscious. At this point, you should be very motivated to change your relationship with your phone. So now let's design the environment to make following through as easy as possible. The first step is installing a blocker app, and block apps that are particularly distracting to you. A personal recommendation for me is the Screen Zen app. Not sponsored, by the way. Why do I recommend this? Because it doesn't hard block the apps. Because For example, for me, big distraction might be Instagram, but I use it for my business as well, so I can't have it hard blocked at all times because I sometimes just need to get on it. The Screen Zen app specifically, just you can set a timer on when you open the app. There's a blocker for 30, 60 seconds till you actually open the app, which gives you time to think, do I really want to open the app? And just adds enough friction that you're like, not for that, you're just not as impulse driven when there's this time delay in between. I would recommend at least 30 seconds, 60 seconds is better because it just adds more friction to the process. The second thing is all the distracting apps, get rid of it on the home screen. So you have to go and search for them to actually open them. Now make the phone inaccessible. Put your damn phone in the next room. Because even if you don't look at your phone, but you have it in your pocket, you have it laying next to you, research shows very clearly that you still have less focus if the phone is in the same room. When you put your phone in a different room, your brain is basically like, look, it's in a different room, different compartmentalization. I'm not going to think about it right now. There's a lot more effort to, I actually have to go up and get my phone. So you'll just be more focused. Subscribe for more business owner psychology.